Joanna, aka Joanna. How's everybody doing? We are here for a winter day. Yay, winter. It's cold and rainy here, so I'm not too happy about it, but it is what it is. We can get a lot of indoor stuff done, right? Like we can do some studying and do some working on our energy, right? So let's do that. Let's do that. And the rain too is they're also just washing away all the energies in the air that have been so suppressive the last couple of years. So we're really happy about the cleaning and the washing away. I was trying some different colors with my makeup today, so it's a little bit more dramatic. So it's okay. Let's go. I've got some downloads from Source. Welcome this beautiful sunny and winter day. The sun is trying to peek out from the clouds, so we're gonna call it along. I have been working with my energy to work with the weather. So I have been working with it. It does actually work when you do it with beautiful love and intention and balance. If you do everything that you do with the energy and you do everything that you do with Source Creator with balance, then you'll be surprised at how much you're affecting the consciousness around you, right? The consciousness of the collective, how much you're allowing your alchemy to be all that you are, and then presenting it to the all. And that's what we teach here, is our higher consciousness to be ultra human in who we are. Each of us emits energy. We all emit different types of energy, and we are all absolutely at all times, we are sending and receiving energy. We are constantly receptors, and we are constantly sending energy out. But it's how we are needing and honoring to heal ourselves. Understanding the electromagnetic bodies, understanding our multidimensional light system. Our light system is what I teach about. It's what was taught about in many of our ancient temples. And that light body is absolutely mandatory to understand and to get to know and to work with on an everyday basis through alignment, and we call alignment connection and relationship. So all of these terms and all of these experiences that I talk about on my channel is what I've talked and teach on the Pleiades, and for the children in the Pleiades and many of the other planets that I belong with and the galactic federations. I do a lot of work for them. I'm just assisting in how different species are moving through ascension, how light affects the bodies in different species. I know that's a lot of the work that we're doing in the galactic federations on the study ships, and a lot of the research that we're doing is how does light affect the body in the various species that we have on our planet, the hybrid, the indigo, the crystalline energy, which we talked about a little bit on last class. The crystalline energy is crystalline energy, and if they do carry crystalline energy in the DNA. It all depends on what amount is allocated in their DNA, and it all depends, it's very, very wide and vast. And I could talk about an entire show just on the DNA allocation, because we're just tapping into it. I'm the only one that talks about it on the planet. This is something that Source Creator has downloaded just to me. And the DNA allocation has everything to do with in the multiverse that we are within this multiverse species. It's up to Source Creator and how we've been moving about, and the very importance and the higher order and the spiritual law, and why it's so important that we really empower higher vibrational spiritual knowledge, because everything that is our evolutionary path, our evolutionary blueprint, who we are in the genealogy of Source Creator, is how much we've allowed ourselves to transcend and transmute who we have been into who we can be. And that is through light. Light is the only accelerator. It is the only it's the only elixir that allows us to vibrate from a different matter frequency to a higher frequency. And crystalline energy, crystalline is how that light flows. So the higher crystalline it is, the more light, the more purified, rarefied light can get through the various aspects of our multidimensional matter body. So we're now transitioning every ascension cycle into more and more crystalline. But again, as we go back, not everybody has access to the crystalline energy. Hello, sweetheart. So we're going to go far and wide. I'm going to keep it really on point, because there's some things I have to talk about, and God is channeling me right now. I have to practice my gifts of channeling with Source Creator. And I have to channel this new energy that we're in, and helping humanity move into this expansive momentum that we're moving in. So I hope that I can stay on topic. And the topics that we're going to try and get everybody's head wrapped around is the genealogy of where we're going for this particular timeline of New Earth Star, the energy that's behind that momentum, which is, if you can write this down, Kudos, so I can remember, because there's so many different higher vibrational topics I've never talked about before, so I'm going to have to remember these topics. I didn't write it down. I want to do things by channeling. as best I can. So we're going to talk about the genealogy of source, and we're going to talk about the crystalline energy and the species on where and how the crystalline is made up from is exactly have to do with your soul's blueprint and how important is your soul's progression. And we really have to, as evolutionary species, we're claiming ourselves, we're intending ourselves, and we're directing ourselves as evolutionary species. Evolutionary species means that in any makeup that we are, in all that we are within our magnetic fields, in all that we are within our multidimensional systems, matter, form, crystalline, light, it doesn't matter what we call ourselves and how we are made up. Just like today, I was saying I was doing something different with my eyes, and I was just doing different colors. I wanted to try different colors, and it's a bit more dramatic and things like that. So I'm having to move in different ways, right? So I'm thinking it's really that's indicative that I chose that today, because it's having to have us move in different ways. We're having to see ourselves in different light, and we're having to be a bit more dramatic when it's called for. And these are all the things that I'm going to get to. If you can please put this in the comments for me, Cluedo, is that this next phase of predictive energy that we are in, and this is right from Source Creator, that we had just come from the kindergarten, early middle school type of growth. That's the planetary energy that we've moved from. So now we're hitting into high school to college. This is the next evolutionary predictive growth for Gaia and the energies of the planet that we should be stepping into, which means that we're going to have to be a little bit more fun, a bit more finding of ourselves, sexually, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And all of these things we want to see ourselves play with. We want to really tap into the textures that life and source is. And I say genealogy. I'm going to have to go back and listen to this because there's so much I can expand on these things. The genealogy is more like the textures and the infiniteness of source. And so that if you can think of like the source spanning out into infinite number of experiences like light does, that's what we're meant to, this is what I'm exactly feeling, all the lights that's just spanning out is the excitement of having to just bring yourself out forward in new ways and new creative, like you're in a play and you're various characters of a play, and you got to test out which character would you like to be, and the producer and the director is saying, we've got these 3 characters, which character would you like to be? And just like I was telling about my makeup today, as a divine feminine, as a goddess, I want to play with different looks. I want to play with different fabrics and textures. I want to see myself in different arenas. I want to be around different people that can promote and enhance and inspire my types of growth, because as we've said in all of our shows right from day one, how I've been shown from Source Creator, how I know it because I've experienced a million times over. The essence of Source and what makes me different than any other person on the planet is because I get down to the nitty gritty and I get down to the pinpoint of your essence with Source and how you alchemize and how you change and how you direct creation. And that has everything to do with the 3 E's. So if you're not exploring, if you're not expressing that self, if you're not getting down and doing the paperwork, if you're not doing that action is that quantum interaction, the quantum equation interacting with each other. If you're not doing that action, the quantum equation never has its chance to become a different type of solution, a different type of experience. So this is why it's very important that we play at this time. This is the biggest predictive energy we're seeing right now. So if you can put it down in the chat room, I would really appreciate it. Source's biggest offering today is the newest predictive energy for New Earth and the timelines we've just shifted from. We're going from preschool to middle school, and we're now hitting high school to college. This is the energies that we're in as an Earth collective, which means that we're going to be finding ourselves. We're going to be sorting out, if we're going to do a career, we're not going to do it the way that we were taught and told and shown from our generation. Your expectations, you were conformed and you were, it was like dogmatic, it was socialistic, and all of those things that we were taught, told, and shown. But it's going to be different now. Now we're going to start to create the career and the career vocation and the direction of our energy, the direction of our focus into more playful and exploratory and expansive and fun and creative. And where is our real passion? Because if you're not creating from passion, why would you create at all? Right? You want that energy to say that wherever I'm creating from this, when I'm aligned, how an infinite number of ways and how an infinite number of channels can my light for Source Creator be exposed? This exposure and this creational expression of it is an action word. You have to express it. In the expression of action, you are then activating that DNA. And that DNA, that codon, allows you that insight of the different genealogy of Source. We have to. If you take away anything from today, please let it be that you have to express, you have to get down, and you have to actually do the work for that DNA and for all that you are as Source to come forward in new ways. As I said, Today I tried different makeup because I just wanted to see myself, feel myself, look and feel and move different ways. And that's divine feminine. We have that way to play with, the clothes and the textures. And I love being a stylist because I love to play with clothes and colors and how different things affect my mood and how different things affect my energy, right? So now that we've moved from the kindergarten to this now high school, college days, we're now sorting out, well, I know I've been through all those beginner transformation. I've kind of get through the school, and I'm not so much in the ostracization energy anymore. I'm not into the, following the crowd anymore. I'm now starting to set out who I am. I'm starting to set new intentions. I'm going to be driven in ways of my passion. I'm going to be driven in ways of who I am a source. I'm going to be driven in ways of what I like to create a source. It's going to be more of an energetic, focused directive. This is so important, so important, so important. Write this down. The genealogy of source is all the things and all the places and all the excitements that we come from. It is the quantum equation coming into a new version of you. You are absolutely starting to create more different matter from the energies of the DNA that you've just changed, you've just activated. And all of that has to do with the 3 E's. And then when you're doing your alchemy, it's the 3 A's. You're coming into this new vibration of self. No, I want to rewrite myself. I want to redesign myself. And it's always perfect at this time of year because at the end of every year, we always start thinking about who am I going to be for this coming year? Who do I want to transform myself into? What do I want to see myself create? What do I want to see myself transform as? And this is where we're going as a collective. We're going to talk about these intrinsically, the minutia of who we've been within ourselves and try different things. How do we want to see ourselves play within reality? How do we want to move differently in the reality? Do you want to walk lighter on creation and in your own vessel? And how do you do so? So there's going to be, in this genealogy of source, is allowing ourselves to play with the physical changes that are going to be absolutely predominant. Is showing us these physical changes that light is offering us, and how intently you work with, as we've always talked about, your creational reality, which is intention, direction, and focus of your energy, and how you are intending it with your higher self and your teams, because you're moving into these new timelines and into these new threads of potential, these new threads of passionate excitement. The more excited you are, the more driven and the more eclectic and the more exciting the foundations that you're creating. And why this is so important is because we are in new bedding. We're in new substrate bedding. And the creator gods, like myself, are coming forward with a bit more vivacious, vibrant, excited passions of learning from the sacred child, not, knowing not to be a follower, and all of these things that we've learned from middle school and elementary school, and all the things that hurt us, and we've done our healing, we've done our substantiating about who we are, as a entering youth and entering adult into a new realm. But now we want to actually start following our own guidance. We want to start following our own compass, and this is going to be very predictive of those that will continue to be leaders in the collective future. Because it'll be those that will step forward quite early on and say, oh, this is really great. Instead of a school being all of these subjects that we used to see in traditional schools, it's going to be more eclectically driven as far as creative expression, because the expression is so important for the Creator God era that we're entering into. And this Creator God era is going to be, as we've said, philosophical. It's going to be like the Alexandria era reawakening. And so it's going to be a lot of our passionate creativities coming to life, which has been perfect because these dynamic children of celestial energy and celestial makeup, the DNA makeup of the celestial children, the indigos, the crystals, the advanced children, and all of these beautiful things that we've kind of defined and described them as. But it's not. We're going to be opening the gates for a lot of creative expression to be new ways of our systems now, our co-creative systems now. And it's really going to allow ourselves to, again, play within these new characters of who we are, play within these new passions of who we are, because that ignites, make no mistake about it, it ignites more energy around us. It ignites, just as you're saying, just as I'm talking about these things, I can feel the increase in the energy of the collective right now. So the energies of our collective soul, the heart of the collective, which is, I've told you before, I am connected with the collective heart. That's how come as a conduit, I can see, know, sense, and feel, and hear the various things that are going on in the collective. That's my job as source. So that the messages from source can come through me from my higher self, and then whatever the collective is feeling, the energies of the collective, the stagnancies of the collective, where the collective has come from, and then I can reignite new energy, and I pierce that energy with my gifts and skills and talents. That's my genealogy with source. So source has been very purposeful. Source has been very purposeful with how and where he and she has guided me through all creation in the genealogy experiences of where I've been, so that I can come forward and be more distinctive and directive, because I'm stepping into now of a leadership, management, co-creator, God role. And in this God role, I'm going to need to claim my experiences from all of my schoolings, from all of my genealogies, from the ones that I've integrated, because we're going to be continuing to integrate. I mean, that's going to be infinite. We will always be integrating source creator, because there's 13 dimensions and we're only at 3, 4, 5. So I'm heading into a 5th dimension, and there's different threads within the universes that we're shifting upon, and we've just done a lot of shifting. Many of us that are going to be stepping up into leadership roles for humanity, a lot of us have just shift up into they're multi-dimensional, multi-vibrational, and multiversal. That's how come I'm saying shifting like this, because a universe is here and a universe is here, and God, the source creator, is the one that's shifting so that the leaders, some of the leaders on this universe need some of the leaders on this universe. So source knows who's going to go where, what is needed where, and that's going to be lifting up, because this universe is also the momentum of this universe. Just as I said, those of us that are in a leadership position, we bring the momentum of the collective. Just as this universe is the momentum for this universe. And it's always working in an infinity. And it's always working in a toroidal. So these energies have to sometimes crisscross, which we've just come from. And it's very, very interesting to experience, very interesting to experience. I feel like when I'm getting up, I'm have to really focus on grounding. You'll know these different shifts in that the energy of the collective just feels different. If you're an intuitive, an empath, or a vibrational healer, or you work with the grids, you're going to feel these in your energy body. You're going to just sense them. And just, again, work with your teams and guides. And if you need an appointment, book an appointment with me, because we always, in our ascension appointments, we talk about how to move forward in the higher consciousness of you, how to direct, intend, and focus your energy of you. It's all about consciousness from here on out. And so to move in consciousness, we need higher capacity and higher aptitude of all of these things we're growing into. And we have to be growing into higher capacity beings. And that is understanding consciousness, all that we are as multi-vibrational beings of Source Creator. We are in the image of Source. And what activates that information and wisdom and knowledge is the DNA, along with everything else that is the environment, right? Who are you? What do you exist within? What's going on within you? That is raising of your consciousness. That is being evolutionary. You want to choose to be in this moment. I'm evolutionary to where I was in all things past, because now I've gone through a certain level of schooling. I understand that we're going through this huge transformation, that our planet is awakening, that we can let go of church and state, and we can start creating something that's really new. Pick the best of church and state and then make it new, because it does have higher order. There is higher ethics and authority and morals, and you're going to have to set new standards, because we are moving and we are in alignment. The bedding that we are in, the encasement that we're in, is absolutely universal laws. And so those that choose to move forward with intention, to be a part of ascension, to be a part of eternal life, you must choose with intention daily to work and intend with light. As the Galactic Federations had said, there's not going to be an infinite number of give and take, and there's not going to be an infinite number of trials where you're given, where you're in really bad and poor behavior. There is a balancing system. There is a balancing mechanism to every moment of life. And if you're doing more taking than you're giving, then you have to sit and do some reflection. How can I give back? In what way can I give back physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? And this is why I've done the Ascension Path work, right? Doing your daily work every day so that you can know every day where you're at, and you're working very intimately with your teams. You're building a great relationship with Source Creator. And that Source Creator relationship will give you and offer you and show you everything that is in your genealogy, your identity, right? You're becoming more intimate with your identity of Source. But this next predictive energy we're going into, is Source is really showing me that it's like we're in this new school, or it's like we're in this new college, and it's going to be very exploratory. It's going to be very eclectic. It's going to be very expressive, and it's going to be creationally focused, in which we're getting fine-tuned with really directing ourselves from within. And where is the excitement within us excited to create? What would we like to create? And in what way would we like to create? Who would we like to create with? Who are those environmental, perspectives that allow me the nourishment, that allow me the foundation of safety and protection, so that I can manifest and I can be the greatest creator experience that I can. So they're giving me a download. It's really important right now. And so just open up your hearts, because there's codes going to be downloaded in what I'm going to express. Just make sure you're grounded by taking a deep breath, a full body breath, and call in light. Slow exhale. Remember, the inhale is slow and the exhale is slow. We want balance. From here on out, you want to focus on balance. If you're not thinking about balance throughout your day, then you should think about balance throughout your day. Deep breath. And ground. Feel your pillar of light going into the center of Gaia. She te pakata te kena ka te kesha na makata te kela mai te kena na ke te kesha na makata te kena na ka. She na ma te kesha na nakata te kena na kata te kama a. E te kena makata e she na naka a te kena na mai te kera a she na makata ne e a. A she na makata te kena na raka. E la manaka te kena na kata e she na makata e na a. Se kamama a te kesha na maka a. So they're showing me that source is shifting some things around. This is exactly what I see. I'll show you what I see, and then you can just close your eyes and go into your third eye and place your hand on your heart so that you can get the downloads that you need when and how you need it. Just know that these downloads are always in the field, but you have to go away later and unpack it for whatever your experience is, whatever your excitement is. So what I'm seeing right now is Source Creator has, just as I've just shown you, that parallel shifting universe. And in this new bedding, Source is actually picking things up and putting things like a Lego. It looks like this is what I see. I see Source playing like Lego. So there's various things of our systems that will be placed in the creational reality that will be a starting point. So we are, in what I see, we are being placed very strategically through the hand of Source. Thank you, Holy Source. Thank you, Holy Source. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for allowing us to be at our highest level of creativity. And there will be those of experiences vibrationally that will be set vibrationally from the soul vibrationally, from the spirit vibrationally, of how you are intending your destiny and fate to move forward in all that you are as the encompassing spirit image of all that you are. And your vessel is going along for the ride, but you're also there to make sure that it is nourished, it is fed and honored as well as light can be. And you are going to be allowing these experiences to unfold so that the destinies of each of you can be in alignment of and in placement of the direct divine plan of the holy heavens that can move forward in these new systematic experiences that are more in higher order value and ethics that you have come from, because you've all been experienced and you all have information and you all have direct experiential residue of traumas that you'll still have to release, of the abuses that have been going on in your collective for many, many eons through various church and state directives and systems, which you're now here to co-create into a new. However, what I'm seeing and what is going to be important for those creator gods and those that are going to be leaders of new systems and new energies and new arenas is that this is like a clear Lego sheet, a Lego foundation. And it's just got the little knobs that are just sticking up, ready for us to place what it is. And Source is doing the immediate first placements of various things in our system reality, in this dimension, in this thread, in this bandwidth. We're in a very specific bandwidth that is very new for those of us. And this is why it's going to take you some time, really do your work in the morning, to work with your energies, to work with your teams, and to really ground and think creatively, because the substrates here are new for many of us. And it's meant to be. Why? Because those that are in this substrate are the creator gods. And why we have been giving you the intro and the pre-lemma of speaking and knowing that past histories have been kind of like a kindergarten for you and moving through your elementary, middle school. So now you're in high school, college. So you're going to have to look at this as a new plate, as you're just coming up from graduation and you have this whole new a version of horizons to look into. But we don't want you to look at the horizons you looked at when you were also going through this back in your previous histories, back in your previous genealogies. We want you to think of these genealogies being brand new, your new DNA, your new body, your new encasing, because your new encasings will change every day, as Celeste has often given you, that you can change these and work more directively with your body and your matter through the intentions of your consciousness, because it's now greater light, greater flowing of all that is magnetic running through you. And each and every one of you will find different experiences through your environment, through your practice of experimental testing and working with your teams to see how Gaia is going to respond to you. Because as we said earlier in a channel that Celeste gave last week, is that the frequencies of your dynamics will be changing because your consciousness is changing. Therefore, how your consciousness environmental reacts to you will change. So knowing that your substrates are a bit more refined, or a bit more bouncy to your intentions, it's often wise to make sure that you're being very aware and aligned with thought, word, and deed. How are you vibrating? Are you happy? Are you nourished? Are you being loved? And are you loving? And are you allowing yourself to absolutely encase yourself within a very safe environment that will allow your creations to be exploratory and to be examining and observing and reflecting and excavating and being okay with it at a very balanced and relaxed state? You don't have to rush anywhere because you are going to be eternal beings. You don't have to race anywhere. Life is eternal. So let's slow down and let's really take our placement within how can we really create in a way that will bring greater totality to expansiveness to all that may be in this reality, in this bandwidth. We want as many creative beings. We want to be the school of the highest creativity. We want to attract the minds of creativity and the hearts of creativity. We want to be this examination of colors and examples of textures, and it can be rich and deep as we wish. And so the Lego field is blank. And Source Creator is, because it's Source's plan, and it's up for Source to do that, and we will see how Source would like us to create within what is substantiated from what Source places before us. There will be certain things that will stay, and there will be certain things that will go, because it's not needed, and nor can it keep up with the energy in this particular bandwidth. Does everybody get that so far? And I'm just telling you exactly what I see. So I just said what I said, that last sentence. There will be some things that will go and some things that will leave. Source is now reminding me, and I'm just stating this with clarity, that it is purely vibrational. There are things that simply cannot be in this vibrational bandwidth. So be very celebratory and very grateful. So thank you, Holy Source. Thank you, Holy Source, for how Source has moved you, how your teams have worked with you, how your higher selves have worked with you, for you to see the potential of a new bandwidth that you're sitting within that you might not even know. I know I can feel it. There's definitely a new energy that I'm playing with, and I'm going to be, this morning I was taking some time to really play with those beautiful energies and to bring heaven into these new bandwidths of substrates. So I was very excited about my response that I had from the heavens in doing my alchemy and my co-creations like that. And this is how Creator Gods work. You know, who are we? What exists within us, and what do we exist within? And this is all changed, just changed. And this particular group that I'm speaking of will be those that are very specific to, that have, you know, done a certain amount of alchemy, that have done a certain amount of understanding who they are, and have been in alignment to a higher vibrational order than the ones that you have come from. And we've done the understanding that no, we're not going to be followers anymore. We're going to open up our divine sacred hearts, and we're going to align more with what's passionately, intrinsically coming to our awareness within ourselves. And it's not going to be necessarily dogmatically or systematically driven anymore. We're not going to be learning from our conformed expectational parents or whatever it might be in the outer society. It's going to change very dramatically, Source is showing me. Source is showing me within 2 months. We're going to see a dramatic influence. We're going to see a dramatic my energy is going faster, that's why I'm talking faster. And you can just adjust your settings. It's like I'm looking at a magazine. The magazine that you look at and the pictures that will be presented to you there were going to be different than what you've been brought up with. Because it's not the intention of our direction of energy anymore. The intention of our direction of energy more is going to be now creative and healing. It's going to be how to bring that inner beauty out, how to align with that inner beauty, and how to create with that inner beauty. That's Source Creator. It's the excitement of knowing that you've always been Source. You've always been beautiful. You've always been sacred. You've always been dynamic. You've always been a representation of the heavens. You've always been an image of Mother, Father, God. And we're really going to talk, because this is what we do in our early, you know, from high school to college. It's all about the, how do we presenting ourselves, is that you want to be a beautiful representation of the heavens. You want to bring that inner beauty. There's going to be a lot of divine feminine taking her place within the collective. And it's going to be a lot about that inner healing beauty. And how do we allow ourselves to be healed from eons of being blasphemed, of eons of being degraded, of eons of being put down and let down by everything that is seen us as less than and not as equal to. All of these things that divine feminine has had to literally, which I don't like using the word, is fight against, because it's never meant to be that way. We're meant to be in cohesion and co-creative balance. But for divine feminine, no, we've had to fight for our placement in anywhere to be heard or seen or known. And so, I mean, absolutely, my life is an example of that every day. There has been nothing that has been ever given to me so that I can, rise and be lifted and seen as an equal co-creator on any level. And yet I've been initiated with all of the world's leaders. I can make those split decision, experiences to drive a collective and to guide a collective and to protect and nourish and uplift a collective in any direction that God so chooses. I've been trained for it. I've been in trained for it, and most of the leaders there now can't, and they won't. So there will be things moved. But that's kind of a side point there. But what we're saying is that in this new era of predictive eternal life, this eternal life compass is going to give us more intrinsically aligned, more refined, more detailed, more precision on who we are as crystalline dynamic beings Some of us have more crystalline active, some of us has left crystalline active, and some don't have a lot of crystalline at all. But the genealogy of God, as we talked about in many of our videos, is that it's up to God to determine what lineages come back in to start harmonizing and renegotiating with those that are crystalline and those that have the codes to be activated, like myself. There are some of us, the ones that I've been teaching, that my disciples for quite some time, they have activated a lot of their Christ consciousness codes. They understand Christ consciousness. They know how to read energy. They know how to see the collective. They know how to step beyond it and not be in it. All of those things are masterful traits. And so there's going to be those that will be introduced to us that are very experienced in Christ consciousness, are very experienced in light vibrations, are very experienced in crystalline vibration and the grids and all that is multidimensional, how we are threaded vibrationally and electromagnetically, to those that are now entering back into getting awakened into a more refined vibrational spirit, or essence of the Christ consciousness and crystalline light. Because you cannot expand into eternal life without crystalline light. That is the very basic truth. That is a fact. So we need to start becoming more aware as the young adults that we are now creating this beautiful world. How can we create this beautiful world with higher understandings of higher vibrational light wisdoms, intelligences, higher spiritual order knowledge, higher spiritual awareness of who we are, what we are, and how we can co-create? And that awareness is very vast and expansive. It's never ending. Awareness is a never ending experience. Because every new day, every new hour, you're becoming aware of all that you are within creation. That is a consciousness attribute. Awareness is a consciousness attribute. You're aware that you are in a hologram, and that hologram is infinite to however source creator, however you're vibrating, can show an image back to you to say, okay, now this is my new vibration in this particular area. How can I grow and expand? And that's what conduits do. We can hop to any point of energy, any point of reference, and then jet out into a million different arenas. That is the eye of source. That is knowing that you have greater awareness than you can ever imagine. How is that anchor point going to allow you to explore now with textures and colors and creativities and higher vibrational boxes have been blown out, ceilings have been blown out, walls have been blown out. It's open. So Source is just showing this open Lego field, and Source is going to be placing certain things on the Lego field, which are vibrational touch points that have to be there for this phase of our now awakening, coming into our own, coming of age, if you will, where we're becoming more aware of our bodies and how our sexual energy is absolutely related to our co-creative creator godhood. It's absolutely related, and there always was. It was just abused. And we've come from those timelines that have shown us this is what happens when you abuse your life force. This is what happens when you're out of balance in your life force. This is what happens when you don't know anything about your life force, right? Now we're growing up and we're saying, okay, we want to talk about these things. So there's going to be lots in our new socio-altruistic substrates, and our environments are going to be very lush with this is who we are now. We're coming to life in new ways. We get to rebirth ourselves. We get to reawaken ourselves into a higher order, into a higher ethical being of spirit. We are now spiritually aligned. We are always spiritual beings. That's all we've ever come as. All that ever matters to the spirit and the soul are the 3 E's. How are we going to explore? How are we going to express? And how are we going to experience ourselves as the evolutionary species that we are? That's all that matters to your soul. And in so, now that we're at this new phase of awakening, this new phase of age, coming of age, we're now at this kind of high school graduated college experience of our, what do we look forward to and what do we look out into the horizon for? And they're very new, exciting things. How can I earn a vocation that's more aligned with who I am passionately? How can I earn a vocation that's more aligned with who I am as a spirit and a soul? So Spirit is showing me, just as we talked about the Lego board, and these are the deeper, wiser insights to Source Creator. These experiences of the Lego board and the substrates that are there for these new refined gossamer threads that are on the vibrational bandwidth that we are on, those of us that are creator gods can feel that it's absolutely different, right? So that means I can pull up those energies and I can start manifesting and creating with them. Go back to that point, Spirit. You just said that just a second ago. So they're saying that we don't stay too long on parts of the realities that are falling away that are not placed before you as important. So again, as Source is picking up those old things and moving them to another bandwidth, don't spend too much time on it leaving, because it needs to go where it's vibrationally due, and you need to be in vibration where you're at. So there's going to be people coming and going, goodbyes and stories, and there's going to be people that will be taking themselves out. And we say that in the highest level of soul recognition way, because the soul always chooses when a soul leaves and how it leaves. But you're going to see it from how you need to see it, because it's your story. as we said before, there's 1,000 people standing in a line, and there can be one experience of a light ship coming down, but those 1,000 people will have different experiences because their consciousness is at different levels. They see things the way their beliefs and constructs are. So again, their perspectives, their beliefs, their constructs, their dogma, their lineage, their familial, their environment, abuse or not abuse, all of that affects how somebody perceives one event. And if there's 1,000 people, they're each going to have 1,000 different perspectives and philosophies and chronologies and all of those things. So have that be okay. We're not going to have the same experiential point of view, and we're not meant to. We're meant to hear, as Spirit is showing us, as creator gods, you're going to absolutely fall into this beautiful, harmonious symbiosis, similitude of various aspects of species, creatures, creatures in the most highest divine state, we say, that you're going to be sussing each other out vibrationally as to how you can create in the highest and the best for your communing strengths, right? Each of you have strengths, and you're going to be creating in that way with each other. You're going to be finding it a lot more easy to find those because Source will be placing them before you, those that are meant to be a part of your destiny design as a young adult in this new coming of age. You're meant to explore new things. This is a new era. This is a new time. This is new ground. These are new energies. These are new bandwidths. These are new threadings of substrates. We have to take this very importantly and very excitedly, because systems of schools can change overnight. That's really how quickly this can take place. You put an intention in the collective, and the collection's going to go for it. They're going to say, wow, let's do this. We've got now the room. There's no constructs that are going to say, hey, we can't do that. Yes, we can. It's just going to create a new, maybe a permit this way and a permit that way, but that's it. You have the blessing of Source Creator. There is so much work, and there's so much energy from the celestials and from the energies in the collective that things can change very quickly. We're not going to take that old paradigm belief system or perspectives that is going to take forever to change. No, it can take as quick as overnight if you so choose. What is the intention of the collective heart? So as you're building and you're co-creating, always go back to your sacred blueprint, because it will always include your sacred trinity. The heavens has always placed you with your heavenly genealogy. And as you work with your light, and as you intend to work with light, and as you do the tips and techniques that Celeste shows you, as well as other highly vibrated that have been initiated, show you, and what feels good for you, you'll be connected with your collective and your Gaia, because those are all aspects of the energy, and they're all aspects of your multidimensional infinity that's always going to be included in how you manifest and what you manifest, from where you manifest and how you manifest, that will determine on what your output. How you do what you do is going to be your output. How you do what you do will be your output. How you do what you do will be your output. And karma begins the second that you intend. So now that we've learned all these lessons from preschool and from kindergarten and middle school, right? We've had that learning. We're not going to be followers anymore. We're not going to be in the matrix following anybody. Governments can change. The leadership can change. Our dynamic principles of how we're grounding and walking about the earth can be lighter, and it can be changed, and our focus as a collective can be cleaning up the residue of eons of very traumatic belief systems, of conformity and suppression and absolute imbalance, where divine feminine and children and elders and anybody that is not a middle-aged white man, anybody that does not fit that characteristic of being an elite middle-aged white man, doesn't fit. So everything has to be brought down, which it has been, because I do see it. We're not in that energy anymore. The substrates that we are in are a brand new creator God energy. And if you are listening to this, then you know that you are a creator God, and this is your new paradigm. Even though you might hear of politics being the same and your red tape being the same and this and that, that is a sub, what did you call it, Spirit? Subgenus. Is a subgenus energy. When you look at a universe, they're all genuses. Really, it's like botany. It's all genuses. If you want to take it in that perspective, that's all that is. That reality is a subgenus. It's a matrix. It's a little. If you have this, case where you have animals and things, living things in it, it's a genus. The matrix is there, and then you have your little fish pod over there, and then you have your forest over there. It's a genus. The matrix is a genus. It's not how everything all exists. So this is really cool. So this is what we're going to see. Those of us that are creator gods, those of us that are intuitive, are going to start being attracted to those that are going to help us assist in the co-creation of a new, we are in a new subcategory. They're saying, these are the words they're saying. So sit with it and allow it. there's going to be, people from very scientific backgrounds of botany and all of that. No. And religion. No, we're not, that's complete. We're not even on the same dimension anymore. This is what Spirit is showing me. The matrix is a genus, a subgenus of the universe, of space. We're not talking time, we're talking space. It's all space now, there's no time. It is a subgenus of source creator, of very limitation and boxed experiences and boxed categories and definitions and conformities and belief systems and perspectives. And they're all very specific. 5,000 different religions and 5,000 different box doors. It's a subgenus. It's very limited, right? If you're looking at this big aquarium, this aquarium has many subgenuses in it. We are a subgenus on a higher bandwidth. Does everybody see that? Does that make sense to everybody? Because this is the collective I'm talking to. I'm talking to the beings that can see and perceive and tune into a multidimensional perspective of how your reality is actually made up vibrationally. This is what I'm giving you. I'm giving you an idea of how reality is actually made up. Just as the many mansions. We talk about that all the time. So it's good to get in habit of seeing reality in the many mansions. There's a room over here that you can hear that's on the 3rd floor. It's in the very top left. And that is the room where politics and things are kept. That's a subgenus room. It's not the room you're in, but you can put your consciousness there and just hear what's going on or see what's going on. That's what I do as a conduit. If God says there's something going on over there, go to that thread. So I go there and I'm shown something. And God opens that up for me. This is how you can split your consciousness and be in many places at once, but you have to practice it. And you have to practice it for the greater good, not for your own personal will to see, is your girlfriend making out with somebody? Those types of things. And again, you have to have your protocol on how you're going to use energy, in what way you're going to use your energy, and your guides will test you. Because there are still universal laws of protection and higher and greater good. Those of us that have been initiated, we speak what we speak and we walk as we walk. We don't fake our way through life. We are that we are. We've done the work. And we've been initiated 800 times over. So again, have your protocol, work with your higher self and your guides. Okay, did I say everything there, Spirit, about that subgenus speech? So thank you for allowing me to see that, Spirit, because I did not see that before. But now that I'm looking at the aquarium and how you're presenting it to me, it's very nice, and it is exactly like the metaphor of the many mansions. You can hear many different things going on in many different rooms, and depending on what floor you're on, depending on what level you're on, which we say bandwidth, right? Different thread of the dimension. Right? This is a dimensional thread where we are creator gods going to create new, right? And there's different people that may or may not make it to our vibration. They might want to go in a different level of creation. They want to go in a different universe because they're going into darker explorations. And that's fine. They need that darker exploration for their soul's experience. There's no judgment on any of it. But we do have to see that there's these various levels of substrates and various levels of genuses that is specific to that substrate. Does that make sense? We've talked about this before. That every specific substrate has its unique environmental experience. And God will give you, as we've talked about right from day one, this is a promise and this is a fact. You will always be given exactly what you need, when you need it, how you need it. If there's an asking, there will be an answering. These substrates will be very, very like a mom and her new baby, right? God and the heavens and the angels and all of the beings that are watching us co-create this very new experience that's never been done before by human creator gods. We're now knowing our creator gods. We're now feeling ourselves as creator gods. We've now gone through a lot of doorways. We've gone through a lot of portals. And now we're feeling this new way in this new energy. And there's a lot of potential for us that have done the initiations, that have done the inner work, that have absolutely creating from a benevolence and good place, right? God is now placing us with our staff. God is now placing us with our mantle. How are we going to co-create as a creative collective where we're not being given the driving instructions by God? God is saying, here's your Lego platform. I'm going to put this and this here. These vibrations, your vibrations you're going to need for your soul's destiny, for your soul's playing out at this time. You're going to want to experience and explore these set vibrations and people or experiences, right? This is your new soul's blueprint right now for all of you in this new dimensional thread. So you're going to be meeting new people, thinking about new things, so when you're going in, what is my new direction? What is my new energy? What is my new hobby? Look for new things, because this is how God will incite you to this newer star direction. Remember, it's intention, direction, and focus. So in this new paradigm, in this new energy, there's no driving instructions. And as creators, that's what we want. Thank you, God. Right? I don't want anybody telling me what to do. No, I am infinite with Source Creator. I know energy. I know how to work with energy. I want to be with those that are just going to say, go at it. Right? I've got the tools. I've got the resources. I've got a couple people to assist me. I haven't had it. I've been suppressed for 50 years. I'm a genius and I've been suppressed for 50 years. So what can I create when I'm not suppressed? How can I create if I'm not, absolutely living on the street with absolutely nothing? I have to force myself to get by every day and fight for my voice every day. No, geniuses should be allowed to be in their genius category. They should be allowed to just be set free. If you're in this placement of a creator God, God will assure that there will be those things and people around you that will support you 100%. Why? Because you're needed. Because you're going to bring things to this collective. Again, it's like a field. It's like a field, right? It's a ready field, ready to be planted. And it must be planted right this time. We're going to do it right this time, where it's all inclusive of unity consciousness. And what is unity consciousness? It's your growing awareness every day that all is one and one is all. You are the holographic, you are the micro macro. Therefore, thus then, release judgments, release separations, release discriminations. If you have these triggers, deal with them. And we're going to be exploring our way around to allow all those that are feeling comfortable and however they choose to express themselves to be loved and accepted in 100% of who they are. However they are. However their soul's journey will allow them to express themselves, gay, non-binary, whatever the titles are. We want to bring higher dimensional consciousness to every aspect of life. And however they are meant to express themselves, let them go on their soul's journey, because you don't know what their soul's journey is. Source does. They may feel that they're going to explore something for a year or two until their soul has worked through that energy, because we've just known, we've been experiencing, and we absolutely have been proven, Source Creator God is absolutely at the hand of everything that's moving right now. So when you're intentional on working with the best parts of you and honoring you and forgiving you and loving you and coming into greater light with you and working with God and having that relationship and alignment and connection, you know that when you start creating moment for moment connection with Source, your timelines and your body and your soul can change within a minute. You're going on a totally different trajectory. So again, it's not up to any human being that thinks they're going to put a law to say how we can express and who's going to be accepted and who's not going to be accepted, and how we're going to suppress and how we're going to test and how we're going to taunt, or who we're going to do assassination programs on, who we're not. I mean, it's barbaric, because nobody on earth has the elegance of expertise to understand a thread of even one person's lifetime in a month, let alone how they're going to perceive like their value within a lifetime. That's ridiculous, and it's preposterous. So blueprints are up to Source Creator and Source Creator only. Stay in your own lane. That's the universal law, right? Use of free will and non-interference. And you will have great balance, which is law number 2, the law of balance. Because if you're doing number 1, number 2 will take its place. Because you cannot create in a manifesting, benevolent way that's not going to interfere and hurt or harm other people if you are in balance. If your divine feminine energies are in balance, your divine masculine energies are in balance, and you're working on your discriminations and your judgments, and you're letting go of fear, control, and domination, all of these things is basically a to-do list every day. If you're doing these very basic, simple things, you're going to be moving forward in your highest creativity, and God will activate the light, God will activate your DNA, God will activate the substrates, and God will give you what you need when you need it, how you need it. Does that make sense? We've just gone through about 10 years of ascension classes all in 1 hour. Does that make sense? Yeah? That feels really good. Wow. Take a deep breath. Ground and ground and ground and ground. I wanted to say, before we get going into this next segment, is if anybody has any telepathic questions, you can put them in just hold on to your heart space, your divine sacred heart. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for clearing the energy. I love you, Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I love you. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I love you. Lots of energy being moved. So we're just cementing ourselves. We're intending ourselves in this new beautiful co-creative creator God energy. So intended. I am in the new creator God energy. I'm in the new creator God realm. That's what I want to say. It's a realm, right? It's a paradigm. It's whatever I said in that aquarium. That's the image I got from the aquarium. Right now we're in an aquarium, and there's so many energies that are moving out. Let God do God's work. Right? God's going to place what's needed. We are placed in a very, very, I want everybody to get this that's listening to this video, that knows when I say what I'm going to say, you'll know it in the pit of your belly as a truth. And if you don't know it in the pit of your belly, then just let God do what God's going to do. There's no right or wrong to what I'm going to say. That what I'm going to say right now, you will know in the pit of your belly, and you're in a very special place. So celebrate who you are. After what I've just said, This is a new substrate. This is a new realm of co-creators that God has specifically placed. It's like we're not going to say it this way, but we're going to say it this way just because we have never been here before. God has just placed the A-team. The A-team is on the soils, ready to create for the collective for generations and eons and legacies to come. And we are tapped into various versions of perspectives that God will direct through each and every one of you. Why? It goes back to our title, because you are the genealogy of Source Creator God, and that's all you need to pay attention to. And Source Creator God will inspire you, activate you, and bring you to new life every day. And that life can only be brought to you and through you and of you, and as of spirit, as light, dear lighted ones. Because light has a coding. And when you get light, and when you're inspired by light, all of a sudden everything within you changes. Your voice changes, your personality changes. You want to be on stage, just for you, just for you. And that stage can only be right for you, right for you. And you know that God lives through you in all that you do. Bring yourself to a new stage every day, every day. And that's how life lives to you and lives through you and of you. And it's all light, and it's all light in this new time, in this new time. Ishiana ekeia, tiena ea, Isiama egeana ea, Isha, etegamaya ea, ia, tishina makata shina nakata kina nakata kina naka. Tayamaka te na a Briataka na ma e tike na a e shi amamaka te a Brianaka de nakara kaitama a take shin na kata de kina makata ina na a tike na a te na a ma take shin na ka de na makata de kina naka e tike na ka. Ishiama makata te kina naka e lai na naka ishiana ma. I don't know if I'd be able to explain to you what just happened there. I'll try. Shinan maka e te kina maka e te kia na naka e na naka e na naka e na naka te kina maka te kishina maka. This is for the new realm. Shina makata ina naka ina nakata de hina nakata hina nakata e shina makata de kana. So this is one of my new gifts and talents and skills, anchoring energy and codes into the new realm. Shina makata de ina nakata e shina naka ataka shina naka. So what I see is these. Remember I talk about the cascading clouds that Jesus showed me, the many realms, many mansions, etc. So there's ancestral tribes that are going to be placing their energy in these realms. So I was just doing downloaded codes. I have goosebumps everywhere. So some of you might be shamans in this group. Some of you might be the ancestors celestial in this group. Shinamakada deke nanakada de inana. Sete e shinakada dekanama atike shinaka. Atikinama atike e sinana. Shete na atike. So I see the celestials in their light ships that are speaking with these ones in this realm, and these ones in this realm are now transferring their codes to me, because the ancestors have said we're done. They've got their staffs, they're done. They're going to be releasing themselves from the lower dimensions, and then they're going to reintegrate back to source, and their souls are going to come back into this realm. Does that make sense? It's very multidimensional. It's out there. This is what I love. Thank you, source. Yay! So my job as a conduit is just at this very profound time, which humanity has never been, is just to give you a purview of what's going on behind the scenes. There's so much going on behind the scenes, and all you have to do is just focus on the excitement and the highest expression of who you are as God, as a creator God, and then let God do the work and move all these energies around, which is what God's doing. But they wanted to make a distinctive experience that those tribes that were just letting go of the lower realms, they were passing off and they were giving a blessing. Like you're getting married, they're giving a blessing to those in this realm. And their celestial counterparts, where their ancient lineage is from, because it's like their grandparents, right? They're saying, okay, yes, you're coming into this new realm. We're going to also add our light from the celestial perspective, and then the earthly tribals are going to add their light. So it's going to be this, again, what is it we want of our realm? We want it to be the encapsulation of all of our ancient tribes, so that we've got our shamanism, we've got our medicines, we've got our natural medicines, our herbs, all of the things that we've learned through those sacred tribes. We need our shamans. We need our shamans, right? We need our shamans with us. And this realm is not going to be what it's going to be without our shamans. We need those beings that are going to take the tribe to new levels in natural healing and speaking with the elements of the earth again, into bringing out the natural elements of the earth again, and then ethically harmonizing similitude with the earth, because we never ever want to degrade earth of the natural healings that she gives us. We always want to make sure that we are mining, whether it's crystals and all of those things. Be sure that you're asking the appropriate questions, like where are you getting your resources, where are you getting your materials and your crystals and all of those things. We want to make sure it's done ethically, because then the energy that's going into what you're buying is ethical, right? Did I say everything there, Spirit? So they're saying transposing. Look up that word. Can somebody put the meaning of that word just through Google? This is a vibrational experience. This is what I do, is I level you up through capacity and aptitude by giving it a higher vibrational meaning, just like we did transgender. They have the ability to move their light in and out of their multidimensional bodies very fluidly. So allow them to express themselves however they choose. And I'll give them freedom to be in their bodies how they want to be in their bodies. It's their body, it's their soul. We're not going to be hidden, and we're not going to be blasphemed, and we're not going to be deteriorized by judgments of outer social church and state that don't know. They have a zero consciousness. They have a zero awareness. They don't know anything about light. So why would we have policies and laws and agendas to demonize and to bring down and to degrade and to attack and to test and to taunt? I was literally a human hunting piece of meat for so many different arenas and groups and people. There was no permission at all. I was basically 100 pieces of meat. That's how I felt. I felt used and abused on every level, and not anybody had any permission. But I knew that on the higher levels of my contracts that I was here to serve many different councils on the testing and how I would return to health, how I would regenerate, and all of those things. I get that. I am absolutely fluid on everything about my soul's contract. But most people that are in these lower vibrational experiences, and the discriminations and the no voice that the trans group have, and very other ideologies, whether it's elders or whether it's children of autism, it doesn't matter what these ideologies are and their experiences of who they are in their bodies. It's up to nobody to say, this is what you're meant to experience in your body. And all of the projections that were done on my life, everybody was telling me from the day I was born what my experience was. How the hell do you know? You're nothing to do with me. You don't even know me. I've never even met you. And yet you're telling me what my experience was? No, you don't know anything about me. You don't know the first thing about me. You don't know the size of a pinhead, what I am and who I am. So we have to start reclaiming that power. No, this is who I am as a young adult. This is who I am as a new earthling. This is who I am. I'm not going to follow. I'm not going to take on anybody else's ideologies or conformed expressions or conformed expectations. No. Let that soul express what it needs to express, and however that soul needs to express it. Give them the latitude and the longitude to be who they want in their body. But what we need most of all is we need higher intelligent wisdoms and intelligences, so that we can start creating new understandings of, let's talk about these things freely without discrimination and judgment. Let's give them a voice. How can we start creating things that's in a perspective of these different experiences that are very, very complex? How Source designs DNA, how Source designs the body anyone has chosen to go into, and the choosing of a very powerful soul that's chosen to go in a body that might not meet and match how they feel within themselves spiritually or energetically. So this has to be, take that sentence apart, what I just said. That in and of itself can be a whole brand new arena and platform for higher vibrational thinkers and researchers and beautiful allowance creators of new creativities. This is a whole genre in and of itself. And everybody that is in these experiences that doesn't have a voice can come forward and start creating one. Those that want to start doing research in natural medicines to assist these people that want to feel more fluid in their bodies of whatever body they have. Because we ultimately want to get to the point that no matter what body we're born in, no matter what our body is moving through at whatever maturation it is that we are feeling okay with the body we were born in, because there's a very distinct reason why we're given the body that we chose. There's a very distinctive reason. It's absolutely with your soul's blueprint. However, because of the mental knowledge, misguidance, misunderstanding, zero spiritual knowledge, there is much information and there's much smoothing out, there's much healing, there's much lifting, there's much heightening, there's much everything that's needed in our collective in which to do with these arenas. Because there is absolutely zero intelligence in the arenas. It's just a lot of conformity and suppression and depression. They're given no voice. There's no proper education. There's no proper information. We're doing this now at a 5D experience. We now have got the proper cornerstone to start with. And there's going to be a lot of beautiful people that have higher consciousness. They're going to start training themselves in higher consciousness light so that they can come forward and be the new teachers and the new educators and the new healers of these arenas of exploration. Because it's up to nobody to tell anybody how they're going to experience themselves in their body. It's their body, it's their souls. Remember, we are the encasing of a physical experience. Then there's energy. There is always spirit first. However you are spiritually is going to dictate your physical body. Your spirit, however your spirit needs to experience itself in that moment, is going to feel how it feels about its body. And then if you're consciously in tune and you consciously choose to, your consciousness, your spirit, can then start manifesting a new matter body. That's how you can heal spontaneously. You can manifest a limb if you wanted to, but we have to get these basic conceptions first. The body is the encasing and it has the spirit of it in it as it. Therefore, then we need to focus on the spirit first. How does my spirit want me to experience this cycle of my exploration of who I am as this evolutionary being? I'm an evolutionarist. How do I choose to experience myself in this new cycle? And a cycle can be for week, month for month, year to year if you wish. Because again, we're releasing time, so it doesn't matter. If this being wants to experience itself as a trans in a male body, then it can let it do so. And it's feeling very feminine, let it do so. Who are you? You don't know the dynamics and the complexity of that soul. You don't. You did not design its DNA. You did not design its body. That soul and source creator designed that body for a very specific reason. And it has to do with the collective and Gaia and its soul origins and its soul genetic, its genealogy. We have to allow these stories to play out, dear lighted ones. It's not up to anybody to control anything about the genealogy of source. So let that be our first and our biggest tip today. May we go around with this, may we go away with this today as the highest teaching of higher evolutionary understandings and facts. It is up to nobody to choose for any other person the body or the feeling of who it is within its body. It is up to source and that soul, period. We're hoping that with higher intelligence, with higher education, with higher informations of light, informations and standards of our intelligences, of who we are as Metatronic light, what we exist when, what exists within us. Once we get these higher experiences of being source, then these beings that experience themselves in a certain body or a particular energy or whatever it is that they want to do, and they can give themselves a time period so that they can move through the minutia of the ups and downs and the ins and outs and the shadow and the light of all that they are, appreciating all that they are in whatever moment they are cycling in. And without the immediate disciplinary options out there to change the body. We want to hold back on that until there's enough evolutionary experiences. Because again, there is always the higher order of the genealogy with source. And that soul in that body has its reasons for going through what it's going through. And we are the supporting committee that says, it's your soul's journey. We are here to love you no matter what. Now let's just take a step back and say, before we start changing what we were born in, because there was a dynamic reason, there was a design specificity, whatever that word is, there was a specificity. It's just like reciprocity. I can't say that word. Specificity, whatever that word is. There was a source design whatever that word is, to the body that soul is born in. Remember, the dynamic of the soul is in the body, right? The soul, the light, all that you see and how it's moving in and out, how it's changing, how it's cycling in its cycle of ascension, this body is going to feel different. You see the axional line right down the middle? You see the axional line? That axional line moves back and forth between the divine feminine, divine masculine. That's the kundalini that rises up. So how that being wants to express itself, divine feminine or divine masculine, we're meant to be very fluid. That's what we want to be. We want to bring our balancing up to a higher level. But because divine feminine in all of her power, in all of her graciousness and how she is when she's fully balanced, it has been very threatening to divine masculine because they don't know where they sit then because they're not being challenged in their energy. Who am I if I have this divine feminine before me that's very powerful, that's very balanced? What do I? They start asking questions of themselves. Back in the 1950s, they didn't want to deal with it. They didn't want to face it, so they went underground with their sexual repressions. They didn't want to face who they were. They didn't want to face those excitements. They didn't want to face those curiosities, right? Because they had low vibrational consciousness. So now we want to bring everything up. So this is a very evolutionary series and episode today, so please share our videos. We're talking about bringing everything into a new higher intelligence of light wisdoms and light education of the Metatronic light, and who we are as matter form with light flowing through us and in of us as us, is that we're practicing in light as we are of light, where they're going to understand, wow, I can really relax and I can't just judge myself and hate myself and have all of these things about myself, and just learn to focus on self-love and self-acceptance. Because as you do and in you do, you're actually attracting a higher vibrational construct. I say construct as God placing the Lego pieces, where these are things that we must explore that are going to allow us our highest evolutionary creativity. Source knows what Source is doing. There are certain of us that are going to come forward and express Source predictions, our co-creative collective predictions. This is the highest collective prediction energy right now. Everything is energy. So as we're stepping forward on this new realm of this new bandwidth of this new energy, we can now start looking and seeking out from our heart space, what is my most highest excitement, so that I can feel into these things. And yes, there are so many people that are even in our own families that are choosing of themselves to be of different disciplinary experiences as their soul moves in their evolutionary progress. Right? They're non-binary, they're gay, and they're choosing to be very expressive in certain ways, and some are not. Some are still feeling very repressed. They don't have a collective voice. The social structures are not there. The governmental structures are not there. There's a lot of discrimination because there's no knowledge. There's no knowledge being brought forward. Why? Because people like myself have been suppressed. My channel's been absolutely shut down. YouTube. So again, we're going to be given the leeway, and Source will make sure that I will be given my platform so that people can be higher educated, people can be higher intelligence, so that they can move about life saying, no, I'm going to feel what I'm going to feel. I'm going to be okay with it. I'm going to start expressing it. I'm going to start feeling what I need to feel. And that's when we start to heal. And when we're given that healing opportunity and we get to say, no, I'm going to rapture this. I'm going to embody this, because I know that's going to bring me to a new substrate where then I'm given more. So every time you do and you give and you let go, you're given a new substrate. That's just ascension. And, you know, sometimes if depending on how much trauma you have to work through, it's 10 steps back, 4 steps forward, you know, all that kind of Jacob's ladder. But that's your own initiation with you. You have to go through those initiations for you, with you, of your teams, because your teams might want to take you on some detours to really get one topic. Why? Because you don't know that substrate that Source is going to move you to, you're going to be the mainstay, you're going to be the speaker, you're going to be the leader of that one particular topic. So you need to take those detours. You need to be that dodecahedron. You're not a master if you're not doing the dodecahedron. You need to see it from all perspectives of that capacity. That gives you capacity. The dodecahedron is your capacity. It is your aptitude. That's what that means. The dodecahedron equal sign, capacity and aptitude. Also consciousness, equal as, same as, source as, in of as spirit. So all of these things are vibrational meanings and words and juices. It's like a sandwich. So anyway, I can talk about the sandwich. It's all about what's going on inside the sandwich at the time the sandwich is made. Every day you're made new. And you get to put together your matter body and your spirit in and of itself. If you're working with your spirit, you're connected with your spirit, you're harmonized with your spirit, you have a similitude with your spirit can do anything within that matter form. And then you can start manifesting. This is where we're getting closer and closer to dematerializing and materializing, so we can just pop up here and pop up over there. We don't need to go from A to B. So we're going to be doing space travel in many different ways. It's going to be through our consciousness. We have to understand that our consciousness with spirit is. We are source as. The matter follows suit. So this is where it's going to be very innovative with all of our next era sites and windows and opportunities. We're not going to have to use the very harmful things that we've used in the past to do the same things we want to do, but we're going to do it higher, better, and more efficient, and we're going to actually use less tangible products because we're going to use our consciousness. That's where Source has always practiced you. If you're going through very challenging times and very challenging cycles of just use what you've got. If you don't have a lot of resources, you're being put through this for a reason. Many of us have gone through long stays of not having any resources at all and having to rely only on ourselves. That's healing many things. It's giving you many things. It's activating many things, because all you need is you. And I have proven that, and God will lift me in that. I don't have anything, and I went up against 200 people of very deep pockets, of very deep resources that were running the world. And I still came through, and my voice was still heard, and the laws will be changed. And I will absolutely be given everything that I was legally due to receive way back when. So it doesn't matter who you're up against. It doesn't matter about the constructs. You don't need anything. And this is why God does put you through the cycles of ascension. You have to have those cycles. Because all you need is your consciousness. All you need is you and God. That is the Christed toolkit we've been talking about from day one. Go back to my earlier videos. You have a Christed toolkit, and that's all you need. It's your Metatronic light toolkit. It has nothing to do with religion. You are made of light. You are light. You are in the image of. You are a multidimensional being. This is who you are. This is what is within you, and this is what is outside of you. And you're creating the outside through who you are as a vibration. Your vibration is who you are. Your vibration is your reality. So, don't we want to work with light a bit more? Don't we want to be excited a little bit more? Don't we want to co-create with others that are excited about us co-creating with their excitement of co-creation? Isn't it going to be an equal match? Or are you still going to look for the same superficial things you looked for last cycle? Because if you do that, you're going to be mismatched and you're not going to be where you're meant to be. You're going to be focusing on things that you're not meant to focus at a soul level. Because you've had the time in preschool, you've had the time in middle school, you've had the time in grade 12, where you've learned through and you've worked out those things. And now you're saying, no, the people I kind of want to be around are more like this now. Because they're more matched with my creative gifts, they're more matched with where I want to go in life, they're more matched with my creative gifts and skills and talents. I really want to create with my gifts and skills and talents. I want to have a vocational career where I'm paid and I'm honored and I'm respected in these arenas. And this is the betting we're making. This is the betting we're sitting on. Isn't this very exciting, dear lighted ones? This is new. We have never been here before. So what I see is I see the aquarium. We are in the aquarium. We are in this new aquarium, the creator gods. And there's all the celestials. And then there's the vibrational earths we've come from, the different vibrational earths we've come from. I've got goosebumps everywhere. Ooh. That was a powerful download. That was a lot of energy. And so in this aquarium, that's brand new. It's all brand new. We've never been in this energy spacing before. So it's very potent creatively. So please take time in the morning. Take time in the morning to do your ascension path work. Align with your pillar of light. Connect with your chakras. Understand that you're in a multidimensional field. And if you need an ascension booking and you want to get in touch with your guides and you want to learn how to do your nighttime healing, right? And if you want to go through your ascension daily path work, then book a session with me because, oh yeah, I've got it on sale right now. I've got a special seasonal sale until January 15th. My sessions right now for 90 minutes are 150 US. So it's $100 off. I always give a special at this time of year. So right now, starting today, you can book a 90-minute session with me for 150 US. So anybody talking with me about collaborations, it is also the same price. And that's my second book, Ascension Pathwork. And I'm going to be rewriting all of these books. My fourth book, which is The Alliance of Light, that my Alliance with Light will incorporate and go far beyond my Ascension Pathwork. I just need to ground. There was just a whole bunch of better that just came through. And so we're going to take for this next half. So we just wanted to talk about the genealogy of where you've been, how you've been, and how Source is everything, Source is all. I love you, Source. I love you so much. I love you, Source. I love you, Source. I love you, Source. I love you, Source. And Source is the one that's got the hands in everything. Make no mistake about it. Source has got his hands on everything. Source is very happy right now, co-creating with humanity because we've come to places and we've come to energies we've never been before. So we have to be very, very proud of what we've created and how we've allowed ourselves to be separate from the matrix. And remember the matrix, it's in this big aquarium. The matrix is just like this little separate realm of the aquarium. If it's its own little paradigm, if you want to go in and explore very steeped vibrational beliefs and sectors and segments and boxes, that's, if you want to explore that, you can go into that. But you don't want to stay there very long. I'm going to get back out, right? You can see it. It's of creation. We shouldn't judge it. It's of creation, but you just don't want to stay there. That's being in the energy, but not of it. You don't want to be of it, right? You want to be of greater spirit. You want to be of the greater expansiveness. That's why we say in of as. So practice who you are as spirit. Getting lots of codes this morning. Celebrating the new direction and new paradigm of our new phase. It is a more malleable phase. It is a more omnipresent phase, a more omnipotent phase. So that's what I meant, omnipotent. It's very refined, right? We are now in a new cosmic coming of age. It's more like the grade 12 into university. That's how I see this new predictive energy. It's very new for us to think, how can I co-create? Where are my energies? Where are my excitements? Do I want to what kind of new friends do I want to have? We're really looking forward to new friends. We're really looking forward to having new experiences of what does it mean to have a party, right? Back in I remember it used to be so good because we used to be a bit more mature and our parties were going to look a bit different. We're going to have dinner parties now, and we're going to have things that mean something to us. Maybe we'll have theme parties, and maybe we'll have these beautiful parties outside, and all of these things that are going to make up a beautiful new collective on new ground. And so we're meant to celebrate. We're meant to bring our highest creativity. We're meant to play with, how we want to look one day and bring more drama, because it affects how you move. It affects how you can feel spirit live through you. And we're meant to be the actors on the stage. Who are you in the character of your play? You're on this beautiful Broadway play, and what does your character do today? What does your character want to explore today? And you have all these other characters that God's going to place before you. Let's have fun with where we are. Let's have fun with this creative process, because as we do, we're going to allow more light to live and move through us, then activating the light that we need from the base of the spine, those atom-eventine particles that go all the way up. And in all that we are as microcosm, macrocosm, source creator, it's going to activate one of those ideas that's meant to take us on this new trajectory in whatever your arena of study is, right? Because we're going to need, again, we're going to have those that are going to be available for higher vibrational medicines. Without a doubt. That is, our medicine and our healing is going to go in a completely different arena. It has to. It's not serving us on any level. It's corrupt. And how medicine got corrupt, who knows. But it's in that little aquarium. So look at it from a distance. That's not what we're creating. We're not going to recreate that. We're in a completely new arena of energy, and it's absolutely designed by Source Creator. So let's just give a few seconds here before we go into our messages. We want to give Source Creator and all of the beings throughout the galaxy, all of our celestials and our guides that have been helping us make sure that we're being in our footing of our new environment, because I know how it feels to be in the wrong environment and to be suppressed by people that, don't give a crap for you. Right? Those that just keep beating the fuck out of you, and they just keep taking and raping and stealing, and then they get mad at you because you don't understand why don't you want us to keep raping you? Why don't you want us to keep taking from you? Why are you talking back now? You never used to talk back before. So God will make sure that no, there's going to be new arenas, and people need to be where they're meant to be, because we're great beings in the universe, and we need to be seen for who we are, for the first time ever. I would really like to put a caveat out there right now. I'm in really incredible excitement for those that have been donating. I've had 3 of my goddess disciples that have given me donations, and I'm so very grateful. Tomorrow I'm going to work those 2 donations into a song, the Cluedo Goddess song. And so I'm really excited about that. And so those that do donate, I'm going to give you a special verse. And those verses are vibrationally coded, just so you know, because I am a vibrational healer, and I do have ancient and celestial codes within my voice, my healed chakra, right? I'm healing my chakra every time I sing. So this is a good practice for me too. It is a good exercise for me to come and be more creative, to be more playful, to bring more energies forth to the creative collective in the various ways that I can, because it's also going to be promoting a younger audience. And so I really want to be more playful with this. And so anybody that gives a donation, I'm going to be singing you into the verse, and these are actual liturgies of light. So these will absolutely be written down in the liturgies of light as we're coming forward and creating our new earth experience. And we're going to be the leaders and the role models of playing with who we are as energy, and playing with who we are as these new dramatic beings going about this new experience that we want to play, and we want to explore our bodies and our sexuality in responsible and mature ways. We're really coming of age, and I'm really excited. So I wanted to say thank you to those 3 people that have given me donations over the past month. I had, unfortunately, my bags stolen 2 days ago. So I had to get a whole new thing. So one of your donations was to help me get, a couple of things at the base level. So I'm really excited. So thank you so much. And Source is letting me go of everything. And however it's going to be, it's going to be. So any donations that you can bring forward, I would really appreciate it. I've dropped my prices on my sessions for the season. It's going to go back up on January 15th, so it's a good time to get in, because I'm going to be very busy in the coming year. So it's going to be very good. My regular clients, you will always have this base price. You'll always have a reduced price with me. My regular clients never have to pay full price, my disciples, so they're always going to get the sale price, just so that they know that. because they do donate. They donate. So there are some clients, there are some clients that don't have to pay at all just because they donate so regularly, and I would never ask anything from them. So again, they just say, can I have 90 minutes with you? And I would say absolutely. I'm just right now, because everything's been stolen and taken from me. My laptop was stolen. My bags were stolen the other day. I don't have the equipment. I don't have resources or tools. So I'm needing. I'm needing those people that owe me money, all the people that owe me money, all the people that stole. I need that money back. I want my retribution. I have to have my tools and my environment. I have to have a space where I can create. It's ridiculous. I don't have anything to create. So, and as soon as I get that laptop that I can, download that program for sessions so that I can send you the session, and it's an audio visual. And then you can open up that session anytime and take notes and do your own reflective work, which is why I do them in face-to-face, so that you know that it's me. And I also give a lot of codes. So that's why I do that. So we talked about donation. We talked about the sale price. We talked about, anybody that does donate, in whatever way you want to donate. If you want to donate money for a laptop for me, you can send the check or however you want to send it to my bank, because I've also given that, or just send a PayPal. I will give you a verse in the song that we sing, and it will go into the liturgies of light. And so that's kind of an eternal song that we sing. And then the heavens and anybody from futures will know that. So that's pretty special. Gotta make you kind of famous. I know that anything I do down the road will be known, just because I pour the purity of my heart into it, and there's nothing more pure than my heart. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Doesn't it feel good to own who you are? Doesn't it feel good? I'm so very lucky. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So any donations for anybody that would like to donate, because I do have to start off from scratch again, just to get myself a couple of things, like I need a bra. It'd be nice to have a bra. That got stolen, and my belts got stolen, and my shoes. I might be homeless, but I'm still gonna have my shoes. So that got stolen, but whatever. Thank you, God. I'm so grateful that you allow me to go through these experiences and not be broken and thrown down on the ground for 3 days. I need new equipment, and I need to get my finances back from all those people that stole, shadow government. The cult in Calgary, you all know what you've stolen from me, and there is a PayPal there. And Source will direct you on how and when to get the monies back to me. And I've also given my bank address. If it's nefarious, it won't even find me. It'll get lost. So we are going to play. We're going to play. We're going to play. I have new gifts and skills and talents. I want to play. Mother, Father have given me new gifts and skills and talents. Open up your consciousness. Open up your celestialness. Open up your alienness. We are one. Breathe in light, breathe in light. Straighten your back, show the universe that you are important. You're gonna play, you're gonna be dramatic, you're gonna be fun, you're gonna be creative. You're an artist of life, you're an artist of source. You are loved, you are loved. Oh my gosh, if you could see what I see right now. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Thank you. I love being a conduit. Wow. I see magnificence, dear lighted ones. Wow. I see, if you could see what I see. I've seen this once. And I can't remember where I was traveling. And it was this outdoor auditorium, I think. But it didn't have a roof on it. It only had half a roof. Like a coliseum type of thing. It had half a roof with many seats. And it was raised. And it was outside. And I see everyone I see people in the seats. I see. Shiamamaka teke senamaka teke senamaka. If you could imagine, dear lighted ones, the celestials in your families that are in the skies above you, they're sitting on the roof of this coliseum, of this stage, outdoor stage. If anybody knows the actual word of this, we have them in Europe. They are in Europe. But I see what they're showing me is an ancient plus because this is a new paradigm. So think of ancient Alexandria, where we studied outside. We were philosophers outside. We studied the stars outside. Everything was outside. And why the outdoors will become so important to our creativity and our functioning of our highest intelligence. For the earth will be becoming one with us in intelligence, and the earth and nature will offer you what you cannot understand at this time. It's becoming alive with you. This is part of what Source is embedding in your co-creative reality that we have just had Celeste outline for you, and why we have said that this is a new paradigm. Substrates, nature, biosphere, interacting with one another. Therefore, thus, then it will affect your science, what you thought of science and the theories. And you know this in your gut, because your gut will show you what to test and what to think of in new ways. Your consciousness is changing all, dear lighted ones. And the celestials are sitting right above on the roof of this. And what I mean sitting on, I see a black, crystalline, see-through tablet that is the ground, what it sits on. And they're watching us create. Various species watching us. They're waving. Some are on stage and some are in the seats. And it's humanity coming to wherever they're vibrationally led. So I see the grander story vibrationally. This will be like a stage for those to enter and watch and see and purview. They're just coming to see and purview. So Source is showing me there will be people coming and going from different realms, different vibrations, dimensions, different species, and they can cloak themselves if they wish. This will be prominent in the coming days, in the coming years. You will have your celestials cloak themselves and come and go just to watch, to see how you are co-creating in this new stage that Source has set for you. Does this make sense, dear lighted ones? Are we drawing the picture for you? And you will have those that will be your guides and your mentors in the higher realms, your celestials that have been activated to the coding and to the blueprints that you are moving on. They're showing me this tablet, crystalline black tablet, and it has lines on it like an Enneagram. This is how we see multi-dimensions. And this Enneagram is, so go back, celestials, please go back, I lost the thread. This tablet is synonymous of portal calculator, if you will. These beings are watching. Our constructs, what we have started with and where we can go and be and do and explore. They're showing me height and width. I don't know what that means. This, I see the tablet. I see it's like this thick. The beings are on top of it with their light ships and their little desks. There's crystalline desks. Everything is crystalline. And this tablet, and it looks like ruler lines. This tablet, you can see through it, transparent. Cities of light. The basis of construction. So what they're saying is that from their perspective of their higher consciousness, they can create from thought. So again, we're cascading. We want you to cascade. I'm building you into being more multidimensional, splitting your consciousness into various visions. They are at their dimension, 6 and 7, in their light ships and their constructs. I'm seeing what I'm shown to give you an explanation of a vision. We are at this vibration of this new realm in the substrates that we are in. This black crystalline tablet, rules and lines on it. Oh God, go back, I lost it. Go back. Okay, time and space. Time, we're releasing time. Constructs of space, constructs of matter. So hold that thread for me, please. I don't want to lose this. This tablet, as they look through it, from their dimension of 6 and 7, can look through this tablet as a portal, and they can see at our level right now as we stand, right now as God's putting the Lego pieces in, saying, this is going to go here, that's going to go there. because God knows the vibration of what's being offered and who's who and who's what, where, and what the genius of what this person can activate, that person can activate this. This is why we have certain people in certain places. Let God do God's work. Just follow spirit. As these constructs are vibrationally placed, I'm just showing you from their perspective, they're looking through this tablet and it opens up the portal. From the constructs and the constructs and the energies that we have, from where we are in the consciousness of where we are at, there is energetic potential. The tablet shows this. That's what I'm saying. This is an inventive experience. There is crystal. There is coding and intentions. Those of you that are technologically advanced, if you'd like a session with me to further this with your guides, but I'm giving you this as a freebie. Thank you. You're welcome. And you can have a donation to me. That would be great. This tablet, and that's why I saw lines on it, because as these higher dimensional beings are looking through this crystalline tablet, they can see the potentiation of what is there right now. This is how they can also read energy. From the energy and from the intelligence of what is there is right now, these are the potentials of growth and construct that these people have, that these consciousness, these beings of source have. And this is why they're saying very excitedly, and this, I know this as a conduit, I see this, I see the different, the levels, I see God's many mansions. I see this, I know this. This is why I feel so excited to be with Source and talk about Source all the time, is that there is a protection right now on this realm. As we're moving up, I have to create the language, I have to create the visions, I have to create everything from scratch because we've never been here before. In the aquarium, right? The aquarium on stage, the stage I was presenting to you visually, this is protected because it's new right now. Those beings that are in and can see the stage and are sitting in the seats for now, but they're going to get on stage next time. This is all for those that have the co-creational ability of why you're here and who you're going to be with and co-creating with. Does that make sense? So trust God. You just have to be excited to be you every day. Just be you. That's all you have to do. Just be you. But we have the constructs, we have the potential, and we have those beings that are saying, with where you are right now, there is so much potential. And we can give you little bits and pieces, and how will you use it to the benevolence of your people, of your creativity? How will it benefit of the creativity? How will it benefit higher medicine? How will it benefit your higher collective that wants higher medicine? Again, if there is an asking, there is an answering, but it always must be for the benevolence and the greater good of the all. Private selfish agendas will be no longer the key anymore. Because you're going to look to the collective. What is the collective truly needing right now? We're needing higher resources of education, higher resources and capabilities and avenues and portals of this higher education of light and wisdom, and how vast and how wide and we can go with our consciousness. And in doing so with our consciousness, we're going to do so from a very grounded, and we're going to do it right this time. We don't want, regurgitations of Lemuria or Atlantis. No, we're going to do it right this time. We're going to respect life. We're going to honor divine feminine, why we have a divine feminine energy. Because we don't want to be all egoic in our will. We don't want to live from our divine masculine's will. No, you want to be able to sit back half the time and be in your divine feminine energy. You want to be able to intuit your way around the energy because that's more creative. Divine feminine is higher creative. So if we have these creative experiences and explorations, and you're clearing out your sacral, and you're balancing your life force, and you're balancing your sexual energies, and you're reducing the number of people you have contact with and all of those experiences in the sexual experience, that's what we're talking about, sexual experience, you're honoring it more in a sacred way, you're going to have more higher creativity because it's all interrelated, it's all interconnected. It's going to be a very highly creative time for us. And they're just showing me this tablet and why I saw the lines, because it was showing, they were like measurements. This predictive measurement is in this current state of what Source has offered, those that have done the work and are ready to create something new for humanity. It is a part of the Divine Father's plan. In alignment of the Divine Father's plan, you're going to be gifted and you're going to be given visions, you're going to be given your dreams, you're going to be given those that you run into or bump into in synchronicities and cues. If you're paying attention to your relationship with Source, your alignment, and all that you do with Source and calling in your higher self, then you're going to absolutely automatically just get what you're meant to create. This stage, this open arena, this open coliseum, amphitheater, I think amphitheater, yeah, amphitheater. This amphitheater is open to all. So this is what they're saying. Those that are of the vibration of exploring to see how humanity is going to create in the new creator gods that are new. So they want me to go back one more point. before we get to our open messages. One more point. The beings that are in this new aquarium realm, and it will be protected energy for a little while, so that we can get used to our creative expansiveness. And we're going to do it the right way. We're going to do it in benevolence. We're going to check in with our higher selves, because we know that it's higher omnipotence. We know that it's higher substrates. We want to make sure our thought, words, and deeds are in alignment, and that we're in alignment with the Divine Father's plan. So just go within and ask your higher self. And in these alignments, we are given free reign to create. We're going to create in benevolence. We're doing it right this time because we have higher guidance. We have higher order law. We know that we are creating our reality, and we are going to do so with the higher guidance of our celestials, and they're going to give us little check dates, like they did with me this morning. These are the predictive energies for humanity, for this new creative Alexandria time of becoming. Did I miss something there? Allocate specific time throughout your day to be creative, to sit in your divine feminine energy and allow information, allow ideas, go out into nature and have this time that you can allocate to nature and to idea making, idea creating. And you will find your multidimensional health increase, and you will start to become more harmonized with your higher self and your spirit, because spirit is the only quickener. And we want to maintain our core vibration with the planet as we're moving to these very special times. Oh, so we want to go back. One more point I wanted to make. I said it before, I'll say it again. The beings that are coming and going to see how we are doing. Because again, we are part of collective councils, star councils. We are connected with an infinite of beings, our families, our resonances, the people we have contracts with. And we are showing them how we are doing things, how our bodies are healing. Because I'm a hybrid, I'm a crystal, I'm high functioning, all of those things that I am as a human, as a matter form. I have special DNA, I have special makeup, and I do my healing work at night. Plus I have the teams work with me on calibration chambers and different types of chambers on light ships at nighttime. So in this, in all that I'm doing, how is the predictive outcome? What is the analysis from various groups and studies that we can start here on Earth? How can we start higher vibrational teachings of medicine, of healing, of self-healing, of technology, of limb growing? We can grow our own limbs. That was predicted a long time ago. We have the consciousness to do so. So when can we? How can we? What is it we need to? We don't need to build, devices to do it for us, but we can have devices that will assist us in seeing the many aspects of consciousness, portals of energy, portals of how electromagnetic fields are working with light. And that's a great deal of study and research that is going to pull a lot of the people from those old paradigms and constructs that were very corrupt and say, no, I want to be in a new construct that's not corrupt. I want to really go with it, and I want to create from my consciousness. I really want to help humanity in higher vibrational ways, because your spirit guides are going to be activating you through dreams, through things that you hear, through articles that you're going to be moving, and you're going to be hearing about different companies and different characters that are going to start doing new research for higher vibrational, higher intelligent work. And it will be light and sound and harmonic based, because it's in alignment with the higher vibrations, higher dimensions. And you're just going to be downloaded from your higher selves too. So they're saying some of those people that were on that celestial vision I showed you are you. It's part of your higher selves showing you. I've got downloads for you of new inventiveness. Just stay open and work with your vibrational bodies that way. And Celeste shows you how. So anybody wants to book a session, that would be great. Okay, so let's go into messages. We've got 15 minutes, dear lighted ones. Take a deep breath. Have your teams bathe you with holy white light. Bathe you with light. Shake away any densities. Be happy that you're on a new paradigm. Say thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God, for all you've done for me. Allowing me to be me. I love you, I love you, I love you. So excited for you to be here, dear lighted ones. Any messages you'd like to ask telepathically, through me, through your higher selves, through any of the beings that I connect with, Mother, Father, God, and Source Creator of all creation, the multiverse. I am connected with the multiverse, I do know that. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I love you, Holy Spirit. Anyone would like to ask a question? Place your hand on your heart and telepathically send it through your higher self. You absolutely know that you are ascending. Somebody's had a question about ascension. How do they know that they are ascending? In every day that you find yourself changing and turning into someone new, churning, I call it churning, because it's alchemic first, it's vibrational first. This is why we say sit down every morning and do your ascension path work. And ask yourself the 3 questions. Who are you? What do you exist within, and what's going on within you? And then start to feel into the information. Because the reality will not be so much what you are shown anymore. The showing of it is only the after effects. This is why we want you to get to the pre-effects. We want you to get to the thought first, the energy first. Get to the vibration first. The vibration first, then thought, then manifestation. Sometimes your thoughts come after you feel something. If you feel great love, then it creates a thought. Maybe I should go out and buy some beautiful flowers, or maybe I should go and do that. Maybe I should make dinner, right? You feel that loving thought. You feel that excited joy. That joy says, wow, well, maybe I'll make something and I can bounce up and down on that. It'll give me more joy. This is why you always have the feelings and the energy first, because then it inspires and ignites thought. Yes, there are times where you do get a download and it ignites the thought patterns, but that's only been where you practiced, because you're mostly in a mental experience. You're very logical that way. But we want to get those of you that are very logical, that are very genius oriented, to get more into your feelings, because this is where you can really create, because you're creating from your intuitiveness. Your intuitiveness is linked right to God, source creator. Your feelings, your emotions. It's going to shake up all those things in that sacral arena. You want it cleared and cleansed. Then you want it speaking through the throat chakra and the third eye, clearing and cleansing those things out so you can see higher vibrational inventiveness, tools. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So again, it's just your level of awareness for the first part. And then as you're going through bigger shifts of energy, you will feel the multi-dimensional, the biophysical experiences and symptomologies. If you're going through a DNA activation, I've said many times in my videos that your mouth gets very pasty. You get a lot of saliva in your mouth. That's when you know you've had a lot of DNA, you've had a DNA activation, because your cells have to reproduce. So then go into higher vibrational affirmations and thoughts and higher vibrational music, and just have a downtime, because your body's doing a lot in co-creating new cells. There's lots of symptomologies for whatever stage of ascension you're at, but you can book an appointment. And there's lots of information online. Just discern what you want to hear and from who you want to hear it from. Next question, please. Good question. Altering states of consciousness is a matter of aligning the spine through the pineal, and then just practicing and being in joy of practicing. You want to be in joy of being with Spirit, Source Creator. What can we explore today? Source, my higher self. And then you'll just have visions, as Celeste does. Just have a vision come in, because it's timely. Source will practice with each of you where your gifts and skills are, so that you can create something that's never been created before. And it's just a matter of practicing, dear lighted ones, to open up your third eye and practice. How do you receive visions and informations? We've talked about before, the clairs. You can feel it, you can know it. You'll be given a kind of a mock diagram, and then you're going to go crazy with it and say, can I add to your mock diagram? And then you work together. Source will always bring you with people you're meant to work with, because sometimes they might have the insight and you might have the resources or templates. There's always going to be people you're going to be met with, and this is how God wants us to create, because it creates more unity, how people from different varying bridges can come together and create the benevolence for humanity on many reasons. So again, Source is manifesting us to see and to be and to co-create in various regencies of energy and vibration, about our technologies and our genealogies and our chronologies of where we've been, what we've been, how we've been doing it, and how we can come together. There is a greater amount of celestials and alien energies that will be in this new paradigm to assist the humans coming forward in their co-creator God form. So there's going to be comings and goings. So just pay attention to energy and you'll feel it in your body. So pay attention to your sensing. You can book a session with Celeste, or go back to 800 videos that teach you how to get in better alignment. And what is alignment? It's building a connection and a relationship with Source, Spirit, your higher self. Connection is everything. Next question. I don't understand the full extent of this question, because it's in an energy that I'm not in tune with, but I'll get the gist of it. Something about taking time from humanity. Time is an illusion. It's only based on the level of physicality that you wish to co-create. There is nobody taking time from you unless you have been in those experiences of suppression, dogma, categories of religion, education that keep you in confines of information that doesn't necessarily go any farther than what it's always been. And therefore, that's then you can see what you have known to be in your parables of wasting of time. There's no higher constructs that takes time from you. There is, however, the source creator that can say enough is enough, and we're moving things, which source has done. Source has had to intervene in various people's lives where they have been forced to be suppressed because of the numbers of people and the monies that were against this one soul, the one before you. And there will be stories come out by various people that will bring stories from their perspectives, but it would be good to go through her first to get her signature and say, yes, that would be a lovely story for you to present. But it's always good to run it through the person that you're going to be talking about, because it is their life. And there has been no approval and permissions heretofore. So it would be a good experience to start grounding higher ethics and morals. That if you have been studying on someone that you haven't had permissions for, perhaps go the right way this time. And therefore, thus then you're clearing your karma and showing that you respect them in their own due diligence of their own chronology. It's not really yours. You're studying it, but it's not really yours. Because if that person and that soul and that spirit was not theirs, you wouldn't have nothing to study, especially of such species as myself. So just have respect, dear lighted ones, especially with the Aboriginals and the First Nations. Their chronology belongs to them. And we are going to bring them back into the forefront of their shamanism. And they're going to teach us. And we will give them the stage. Absolutely. This amphitheater will be filled with First Nations. Thank you. One more question, dear lighted ones. And thank you for your donations and time and consideration for sending me love while I'm going through this closing out of this time. Thank you, Holy Mother Father. They're saying that there are many in the, I don't know the word for what you're showing me. There are many that would like to come forward and love me. Isn't that sweet? How would you like us to proceed? Thank you. They'll first be done through your higher self and source, from what I have experienced. I do prefer for there to be contact first and for the energies to suss themselves out and see if there is a fit vibrationally. Source will align those that will come forward, that will respect and honor. There will be no repeat or reunions from anyone from the past. That has already been solidified and stated. We are co-creating new contracts with new soul energies. Those that owe retribution and redemption for what they have stolen and taken for the clearing of their karma, the energy in the message is still the same. There is the address on my bank, and you know what you have taken, and you know what you have had access to, and you know what you have taken advantage of. Therefore, thus then, speak with Source and have something creatively come up that you can provide back, you can give back. Those that do, I will not seek necessarily. I still have to talk with Spirit on the charges that will be laid. From what I know, sources will be in charge of making sure that everything will come back to me one way or another. But it's up to each and every one of you to work that out with Source. Because I want my retribution. I need my retribution. I need to start over. It's not okay that I sit in the state that I sit in, for as much as I've given for creation, and Source is showing and proving to all of you that I'm a very unique species and being, and I've given back more than what anybody could understand. So I deserve to be in reciprocation. And I'm very grateful. I do expect and I do respect to be courted in an appropriate way for a soulmate in that way. I'm going to be very excited to create. I have lots that the Father would want me to do. So again, there has to be many experiences of working out schedules and things like that. But I'm very free-flowing with my energy. And I have to make sure that I'm getting enough downtime and enough time with Source Creator and the collective to do what I'm here to do, as well as healing my body. It needs a lot of healing still from the damages that have been done and the traumas that have been imposed and enforced on my systems. And I will be getting a lot of healing over the next 6 months. So there's going to be a lot of downtime for me in the next 6 months in that respect. I'm not going to be going to a lot of parties, which I don't. I have never been to a lot of parties anyways. So thank you for asking. Okay, 2 more minutes. Any more questions? Somebody asking me about breakfast? What do I eat for breakfast? Can you pray for me? Son Tyrell Vaughn got into a car accident. Tyrell Vaughn. He's got some lesions, some bruising. Temporal, was there some head injuries? If this is the right Vaughn I'm looking at, Tyrell Vaughn, some head injuries, some lesions. He's saying, don't worry about me, Mom. Levi Vaughn, you're the one I'm talking to. He says, don't worry, but you're putting the pressure about worrying. Don't worry, just send more energy, just light, send light, flowing light, flowing light, flowing light, and surrender it to Source Creator. Okay, dear little ones, I love you. If you want to book a session with me, book it. It's $150 right now. We love you. Hope everybody is fine. We love you. Thank you for the donations. Please donate, and we'll see you soon. Bye. I love you.